Okay, crazy noise out there. Yes, we're going to get the ball rolling. My name is Art Manv. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar today. Joining me, you've already heard from her, the beautiful better half here. After 40 years, she still likes me. Terry, how you doing today?
I'm super fantastic.
Super fantastic. So got a great webinar. Yes, a very exciting week beyond our expectations with the launch of this product right in the middle of summer. Amazing kind of growth that we have, and this is Terry and I recently at a gosh, we're down here. This is a new picture of us in Hawaii and 500 Ks. Who would have thought, Terry? You know, let's see, what's the date today? I think we're about 4 days away. I think it was July 27th, 2003. when we joined Zango. So it's been almost 6 years. We're almost at our 6th-year anniversary. I guess this could be our anniversary call. And to think about everything that has changed is almost overwhelming. You know, at the time we were maxed out on credit cards. No one was answering the phones with the company you're with. We had very little income. You know, we were basically going in the hole each month. And then we heard about this incredible company called Zango that was already taking the industry by storm. Fortunately, we met Joe Morton, one of the founders, about 2 weeks later, and realized that we had this world-class company that we had been dreaming about for about 20 years, a company that has a professional management team, that has a global vision, that has high-quality branding and positioning and marketing, and, of course, a product that can change people's lives. And we've done incredible with the juice over the last number of years, and then Glimpse came out, and now we have the launch of a brand new category called X-51 that is just entering into a whole new realm, and you've seen the excitement of that already. But Terry, really, I guess it's almost our 6-year anniversary. It's a good time to pause and reflect back and be grateful that we are on the call with these wonderful people, part of a great company with a mission to help other people and change lives.
It truly is, Art. You know, if we could look back and see how those 6 lives have not only changed Art in our life, but changed our children's lives and also changed other people that we have touched, over 35,000 people. I mean, it's just amazing to see all that we've been able to create in 6 years' time. So we are very grateful to have all of you on the call today, and that Art is here to share us with the X-51.
Right on, yeah. And it's getting hot in Washington. You can see I still have my slippers on. But, you know, so they're the slippers, yes, I am still wearing them today, even though it's going to be in the 90s this week. But I really love just the work-from-home experience. As I've said before, I think everybody should have a home in the country and work for themselves. So let's get into it. Oh, there's the garden. I saw some of you guys saw that. It's growing this week, much bigger than what you're seeing here. This is a dream that I've had for a long time that I wasn't fulfilling. We live kind of in the woods, and so we needed some more sunshine. And we've got potatoes growing over here. We got beets in here. There's carrots. We got beans going on here. These are big, huge squash plants all around in here. We got tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of things happening inside that greenhouse. So we're just having a lot of fun with that this year, our little place in the country. I love this picture. The secret is out. Check out the X-51 train. Hold on a second. There it is, the X-51 train. Actually, Eric Welsh showed this on our Wednesday night webinar. And, of course, I added the X-51 to it. So, yes, the secret is out on X-51. We have gone officially into pre-launch this week. And guess what? July 20th was the largest single day in Zango history, single sales day in Zango history. Doesn't include auto ships, of course, but for a single day in Zango history, July 20th, completely sold out of the 1-month supplies by around 5 o'clock on Monday. And the highest commissions paid out, they exceeded their forecasted demand for the full month. And they thought they were prepared for this onslaught. And also the video that you see there on /X51 at Zango.com was the highest video sharing ever. And yes, pre-orders from the Monday and even some and 6-packs, which they did not run out of on Monday, they've started shipping those last Thursday. So most of you that have ordered this should be on the way. Now, of course, you know, they had to come up with some solutions to some of the challenges that we have here. And as of Friday, they are now accepting pre-orders for the next shipment, which is due to come in around the 7th of next month, or as late as the 10th for shipping. But they think that they'll be hitting that. So that's 10:30 a.m. yesterday on Friday. And the scheduled shipment should be large enough to present future order stoppages, hopefully, or hopefully not, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's wonderful when you have a product in that kind of demand. And they're going to give allocation priority on their inventory to anyone that's on ADP. So you want to ensure getting your X-51 for August, add it on top of your ADP, and you can do that actually in Zango.com. There's a place there under, I think, Preferences and Auto ADP information, or you can call the company on that. So that's some of the announcements that we got Friday morning. You know, gosh, Scott Smith and Larry McFarland have done a phenomenal job of launching this product. And I just want you to know that you know, we've been with Zango for 6 years. Larry McFarland is the very top-end marketing manager. I mean, he's owned his own companies. He's worked for major companies. I mean, this is the best guy they've ever had for sure. And Scott Smith and him worked together, done an incredible job on this, Terry. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, they've done an amazing job. And not only that, for you guys that get on auto ship, they're going to be pulling those orders, so you are guaranteed to get your August auto ship. So make sure you make that change in your back office or phone Zango.
So let's have a little review here for those that are new on here, Formula X-51. It's really a feel-good product, isn't it? Feel great again. You know, patent pending all-natural formula, addresses metabolic balance for optimal vigor. And vigor is talking about physical energy, mental acuity, and emotional well-being. And you'll see the new little capsules that you'll be getting this next week. As a further review, yes, you can get the 30-day supplies. You can order these today. Customer service is open. If you've not ordered yet, order your 30-day supply for the next shipment. As of yesterday, they did have a limited number of the 7-day trial packs available for immediate shipping. And after this call, you're going to want to order some of those for the next shipment if they don't have any that can ship on Monday. They might even have some left still. So that's the website. If you haven't been there, Zango.com/X51. There's a very powerful video on here, great interview. And so you can get your folks that want to know more about this and send them a link to this video here. And this is where you take your survey. We're going to be talking about that in a second. So do you know anybody who is tired, stressed, or depressed? You know, this is such a powerful, these words are so powerful. Terry and I have been experimenting with this, and every time we mention this to people, do you know anybody that's tired, stressed, or depressed? And just about everybody says, everybody. You know, everybody is tired, stressed, and depressed, particularly with what's going on in the economy, with what's going on in our world. I mean, who do you know? Look, these are all the people that you know. They're all tired, stressed, and depressed. Your job is to let them know what you have. Could it really be that simple? It really is that simple. You know, for the people that you know that are tired, stressed, and depressed, you have the answer for them. And all you have to do is think about what this can do for them and pick up the phones and let them know what it is. So I'm going to review a little bit what we talked about last week because I want to get this clear in your heads. What I see is the potential here for what I call trial bottle momentum. Now, a trial bottle, which I'm talking about a 1-week supply, is not the be-all and end-all. But to me, it is the simplest, easiest way to put your foot into the door and to develop conversations at a price point that is simply rejection-proof. I mean, if you have a good story, and you will once you get on this product, and you offer somebody something for $20 and maybe you charge a little bit to capture your tax back, so it's $20 and then tax for $22 or something like that. So you make a little bit of money, you cover your costs, and you get these bottles out. You feed what I call the funnel, which I talked about yesterday, The funnel really just talks about how many candidates or prospects do you have that you're communicating with? How many do you have that you have in the process of looking at Zango, starting on Zango? You know, what is your available contact list of people that you've started the communication process about Zango and about X-51 or the juice or whatever? How many do you have of those? Because that will tell you what your marketing and your prospecting activity is looking like. And so get your six-packs to move these trial bottle momentum. And as we talked about, we kind of see this process, you know, do you know anyone who is tired, stressed, and depressed? And if they're interested, you know, you want to tell your story, you know, get them an email, send them a link, you know, have them complete the survey. We're going to talk about this in a bit, and the whole power of the survey. Manage their expectations, and then see if they're ready to get another week or go on at wholesale and join and maybe perhaps turn this into a business. And the great thing I think about the trial pack situation here is that when you do share it by a week supply and somebody gets results and they want to share it with other people, the first thing they're going to do is not just order a 1 month supply of $55 for themselves, or maybe a 2 month supply of $110 for them and their wife. They're also going to want to order 1 or 2 of these six-packs. So it's quite conceivable that this $20 door entry trial bottle that you put into somebody else's hands could end into a $200 or $300 sign-up. Because if you show them that this trial bottle works, and that's a simple way to share it with other people, they're definitely going to want to have those six-packs on hand so that they can duplicate that process. So the fortune is in the follow-up, Terry, and this is one of the parts of follow-up is the survey process. But why don't you go through the power of this and really give people a little bit of an insight, once again, on the fortunes in the follow-up?
Well, you know, I have a lot of passion for follow-up because I think it's the most important thing in your Zango business with all of our products, to make sure that you do follow-up on people. People love to be cared about, and that's what Zango represents, is being caring about the people that you're getting the juice, the X-51, the glimpse, or the 365 on. So we're with X-51 right now, and it's a very powerful product. Great to do the survey in the very beginning. I think it's really important, as well as you want to make sure that you walk them through it, even phone them and say, hey, look, why don't we do the survey together? Walk them through that survey, the very first one. As you get your bottles out there, the small sample bottles, those are going to be great. But I'll tell you what, you guys, those bottles will be as great as what you phone and find out information about those people. For instance, if that person has started on about the 4th day, I would like you to phone them. Make sure they've done the survey. If you have not walked them through it, make sure they've done the first survey. And just ask them questions. Just care about them. Just say, you know, how are you sleeping? Are you drinking extra water? You know, has anything changed in your life? How's your mood? You know, have you noticed anything different? Have your kids noticed that you're different? Has your husband noticed that you're a little bit different? You know, and then after that first week, after they've gone a week, you want to phone them and say, you know, like, so have you noticed things? What have you noticed? Maybe have them put little notes, bullet notes on the refrigerator. I love that one. That's what we did with our team, the 75 people we got started on, is put bullet notes. I think it's really important. But also you want to make sure then they do the second survey, okay? But that's when you're going to get the second order, whether it's another sample order, so they've been on it now for 2 weeks, or whether it's the 1 month order, okay? That's when you're going to have a call to action. So you can see why the follow-up call is going to be so important. But you have to ask them questions. You can't just phone them and say, so how you doing? You know, they're going to say, well, I'm fine. You know, you have to draw things out. You have to ask questions. Like, has your eating habits changed? You know, some people found they were hungrier. Some people found they were eating less. Everybody is different. I think the biggest thing we have to recognize with X-51, you guys, is we're balancing our body. And everybody's body out there is different. It doesn't matter who you talk to, their bodies are different. And so every person, they may say, well, is this going to do this for me or that for me? They're going to come up with all kinds of words. And you're going to have to say, all I know is this is what's happened to my body, and this is what I have experienced. Tell your story. It's very important to share your story. Will they have the same thing? Well, that's their body. It's different. So we just have to phone them and find out. It's going to be really important. But then after the second week, you're really going to want them to do the survey, the second survey. Now, the second survey is where it's really going to tell them, okay? Now, if they only take the 2 weeks, I love what Art and I did, is we made our people run out. We made them run out because then they got to see, like, wow, that really did do something. Okay, so, there's nothing wrong if they do run out. They'll be phoning you back. But I tell you, it is in your best interest and well as the people's best interest that you phone them twice. I want you to phone them twice, once each week. After the second week, I'll tell you what, they're in. They can't help but in because they're going to have great results.
Yeah, now, so Terry, what you're saying is that, you just can't expect to get people on this and have a life-changing experience right from the very first week. I mean, that's going to happen with some, around 20% or so, but the rest of them, it's going to be up to you to follow through and help them get benefits, walk them through any little challenges or ups and downs they might have as they start a new product and help them on the journey. Yeah.
Exactly, and I love the one about sleeping. Sleeping habits will change. Those people that have the 3 o'clock wake-up call, the 2 o'clock wake-up call in the middle of the night and can't sleep and are restless and rolling around, it's like it takes 3 or 4 days to change that sleeping pattern. That does not happen overnight. So don't phone them the 1 or 2 days after they've started their product. It really does not start to kick in until probably about the 4th day, I think, Art.
Right.
So I think it's really important to phone them after that 4th day and take some notes. I love taking notes on people because people forget what they've told me. And then I can phone them back on the second week. Well, you told me you were sleeping better and you seem to be, handling your stress a little better and you don't seem to be having quite so much problem with the kids right now because they seem to be listening to you better because you're not really yelling at them right now. So things are going to change in the household. I mean, we've heard some tremendous stories out there with all of the Zango people that have been on it.
Right.
But do know that you've got to do follow-up. So I urge all of you to pick up the phone and phone your people. Products are going to be out next week. So, hey, guys, at the end of the week, let's say they get them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. In 4 or 5 days, I want you picking up that phone.
Okay, great job on that, Terry. And what I've been showing on the screen here is part of what they're going to experience at the survey. Vigor is measurable, and it's something that can be measured in a clinic. It's a score that is scientifically validated, and they use a tool called the Profile of Mood States Survey, or POMS. And you'll see, and this is kind of things that people are going to experience when they go through the survey. So we're able to absolutely quantify the results that people are getting beyond what they're experiencing and how they're feeling. This helps to quantify it. And so you also have then the next slide here, as I bring this back up, which shows, their increased energy, the better mood. So we've got people here, 27% reduction in tension, 48% reduction in fatigue, 14% reduction in confusion, 27% increase in their vigor score, 52% decrease in feelings of depression.
Now you can see, you guys, these are what I call bullet points. These are some of the things. These are some of the bullet points I want people to put on their refrigerator, that yes, they have increased energy. Wow, my mood has changed. My tone has changed in my voice. I don't seem to be quite so hyper, and I don't seem to be quite so anxious, Better sleep, you're really going to get that. Coping with stressful situations, like even people that drive to work each day. Sometimes they just stress out. By the time they get there, they've got sore shoulders, they've been gripping the wheel or whatever. So these are bullet points that I would like people to recognize and have them ask them those questions and put it on the get them to put it on the refrigerator.
Yeah, I want to just go back through this survey that I've been showing here from our own team because you'll see how important it is to follow up. I mean, we're getting here's a product that over 80% of the people are responding to in the first week or two. But the first week, if you look at the response rate, you know, less than half are really noticing what I would call excellent results, which is excellent results or better here. Remember, 34, about 42% are excellent or better results in a week. That is fantastic. But what about the other 56%? They're not noticing much, or if they are, they're not really sure what it is. But as you get them into week 2 here, now you've got 69% excellent or better results in 2 weeks. I'm telling you guys, this is unheard of in the industry, and that's why everybody's so excited about X-51.
Not only that, Art, but you know, that first week, if you look at that report, it's very subtle, okay? We have to recognize, you know, this is not a high boost of energy such as when you drink one of those Red Bulls or energy drinks or coffees or whatever. It's not an energy like that. It's very subtle, but it builds. And so this is why that second week is going to be so important to get the people on that if you're using these sample bottles.
Okay, so I think we've laid a really good foundation here. Some of it's been a bit of a review for you folks, but what should you do now to really take advantage of this incredible launch? Already we have an amazing story. Do you know that part of our story already is that we sold out of a month's supply in 1 day? Obviously, this product is in demand. That's already part of our story. Part of our story is that over 80% of the people that take this are responding within 7 to 14 days. That's a powerful part of, these are bullet points. You should have these bullet points written down. So to me, there's several action steps that you want to take. Number one, and we've kind of covered this already, what to do now with those that are already ordered. The number one thing, everybody on here, please, will you do me a favor? If you've ordered this product, you haven't received it yet, go to zango.com/X51 and take your survey. Make sure all of the people that you have sold product to, I know some of you have ordered product for other people that aren't in our loop, that don't even know who we are, right? And they're not on this webinar. They don't know anything about the survey. So if you have product that you've ordered for other people, make sure, call them up today and say, have you been on the survey? Now, there's a lack of compliance on this survey. It is such a powerful tool, but people just don't do it. I mean, even those team members, I'm telling you, this is how we know. Even our own dedicated business builders did not take the survey very well. So my suggestion here is let's keep it really simple. It only takes a couple minutes on this. I want you to call up all the people that you've ordered product for, you sponsored, you know they've ordered product, and say, listen, did you take your survey yet? Your product is coming this next week. Let's do it now. Are you online right now? I want to show you how this works and take them right to the page, X51/X51. Take them right to the page. See that little box down there where it says take your vigor score? Let's go through this right now. I want to see how you're doing. And you take them and walk them right through that survey, and now you know what their score is. Because the other thing that happened is I found people, well, I can't find my score. I'm not sure where it is. So this is part of this whole follow-up thing. And this is a fun thing to do. And so then when you're following up, as Terry has just suggested, at the end of 7 days, you're doing your follow-up call. Listen, let's go in and see what your survey score has done. Now, this is so powerful. I'm telling you, if you will walk through these 2 steps, don't expect them to do it. I mean, you can email them and everything, but why don't you, while you're following up with them anyway, walk them through these steps. Let's go take your score now. Let's see how you do. Make it a fun, exciting thing to do. So that's for those that have already ordered. Now, what about the people, those of you that have ordered additional products? I know some of you have ordered several extra bottles. You've got your 6-packs and stuff. Guys, get it out into people's hands. Don't sit on it. There's plenty of people that are tired, stressed, or depressed out there. Just move it, Move all this inventory out. There's more product coming. Keep enough for yourself. By the time we hit official launch September 5th, that's all you have to worry about your own consumptions between now and September 5th. After that, there'll be plenty of product, I'm sure, when we officially launch with a new name and everything. So just get it out into people's hands.
You guys, don't let it sit in a drawer. It's not going to do anything in a drawer on a bookshelf. You want to share this with people and help them because there are so many people out there that are tired, stressed, and depressed. And so just know that you're helping a person change their life, literally.
Now, the next thing is what I call existing downline. or you could even call these existing prospects or past prospects. I'm talking about people in your Zango back office that are inactive. If you've had a downline before, you know that in marketing they say that the person it's much easier to get a second order from somebody than a first order, which means if you've had people in your downline that have dropped out for various reasons, you know, who knows what's going on in their life, maybe they've lost their job or something, and you've got these what we call zeros in your downline that aren't ordering and have been inactive for a while, these are prospects. You can download these from the back office of MyZango and get a spreadsheet report of people that are no longer ordering, inactives, people that haven't ordered for a year. These are like free leads that anybody can contact. And so some of you that have larger organizations should have a goal of contacting existing downline. You know, there's lots of people, 5, 10, 20 a day. How about having a goal? Have you heard about Zango's new product?
And remember, you guys, when you phone these people, okay, they're usually at work or whatever. Sometimes they're busy. Sometimes they're with their kids going to a baseball game or whatever. Leave a little message on the machine. Say, hey, you know, Sally, just wanted to let you know Zango's released a brand new product, X-51, and it's for people that are tired, stressed, and depressed. You know, why don't you give me a call and see what the fuss is all about? You know, just leave a short little email. Do you know how many calls you guys can do in a half an hour?
Yeah, leaving messages, yeah. So you can email a link to that video, email to the X-51 page, watch the video. There's plenty of Dr. Sean Talbot things for those that you know that are really into the technical and the science and stuff. There's lots of recorded audios from Dr. Sean. And you tell your story, you know, and tell the stories of people that you know. Your own story is powerful. You know, I mean, I've just had this long-lasting energy, you know, since I got an X-51. And I'm telling you, I sleep like a stone. I have never slept this good in my life, you know. I mean, I just sleep through the night. A lot of people are noticing a tremendous sleeping ability. By the way, did Marnie or Loretta get on yet?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Listen, why don't we stop right here because I know you guys are in some sort of a workshop. We've just kind of thrown you in here at the last minute, but wanted you guys to come on and tell your story, your excitement about X-51, you know, and gosh, the incredible job you've already done on pre-launch. So I'd like to introduce to you a premiere that Terry and I brought into the business about 6 months after getting involved with Zango. Loretta's somebody we've known. One of the few people from a previous network that actually would follow us from one problem into something else. And so I'd like to introduce you, first of all, Loretta Bakari, a premier from Thunder Bay. And I believe she has Marnie with her, a 20K that Loretta sponsored from Grand Marais, Minnesota. I think I'll just probably bring you guys on together and you can kind of talk back and forth a little bit. So go ahead, Loretta, take it away.
Well, thanks, Art and Terry, and this is just a real privilege to be on this call today because we're just so excited. I can honestly tell you that I have my life back, and I was part of your study, Art, that was knew nothing. We were the kind of the blind study.
The guinea pigs.
Yes. So all that you told us was that we could take 2 capsules in the morning. This was a category creator. Of course, we knew already that it was from Zango and that it would be something spectacular, but we honestly had absolutely no idea. And we literally were guessing. But on day 3, I phoned Marnie and said, okay, Marnie, I think this has got something to do with the brain. How could there be another category? But I don't care. This has got something to do with the brain. And she goes, yeah, I think so. And I said, because I was connected. And I finally felt like my head, my brain was connected to my body, my soul, everything was just on. And then as the time went on through that week, it became more and more energy. By the time I got to the second week, it was absolutely profound for me because I had complete energy, completed energy. From morning till night, I woke up awake and ready to go. I hadn't had that for 3.5 years. I had adrenal burnout, and that takes a very, very long time to come back from if you come back. I was about halfway back, and I got the rest of the way back just in that short span of time. So for me and my story, that's how powerful this product is. And I don't know if people out there really have a grasp on this yet, how powerful this is. To be able to go from an exhausted inner core energy. The outside was okay. I could do lots of things, but I had to really be careful, and I had to watch what I was doing. But anyway, to get to that, and then to have this mental sharpness, this alert. Now, we still knew nothing at this point.
Yeah, you guys knew absolutely nothing other than try it.
Exactly. And I had, again, that vigor and vitality. I felt new. I felt fresh. I felt like I did years ago. And that is in the second week. And then you deprived us of that next week, and we had no product. So it was, okay, that was fine the first day. The second day, I thought, okay, I think I'm going to chew the rubber tire off of a car or something. I thought, okay, what is this? Because it hit me a different way of not having this product in my body. And by about the third day, I called you, Art, and I said, okay, Art, I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. I literally fell asleep with my head in my hand, and I was at my typewriter. I mean, my computer, to see where my mind comes from. And I actually was worried when I came to that I might have sent a wrong message out or something. And you told me that, oh, that's okay, Loretta. You're just experiencing what you were like prior to the product.
Right.
I was stunned because I realized that I had been fighting that exhaustion, and that's what I was like, only I would not go to sleep. I refused to fall asleep and would just keep going. But your body can only keep going for so long. So this has been amazing. And, of course, Marnie and I were going back and forth all the time and in our little journey here. But once I got back on the product, I have had every day of the same type of energy, totally stable, calm, relaxed, but full of life. So thank you so much.
You know, one thing that's really interesting, and I know Terry and I have noticed this with you and with some other people, and not everybody is going to respond quite as fast as you, but we have another person that I talk to very, very frequently, and Terry is very conscious of this, but to hear the different tone in your voice, you know, you have a whole different tone in your voice, you know, and it's amazing.
It great? Yeah, it's full of energy.
Full of energy and life, yeah.
I can all this now. This time later, I can look back. I have something to compare it to, which is time, and I can tell you that this type of energy goes way, way back in my lifetime. So it's just amazing. So I'm going to turn this over to Marnie now, and Marnie is been a trooper here, and she is my best friend, and we met through network marketing. So that's another part of this business, and she is part of our journey together with you and Terry, and we go all the way back for many years. So here's Marnie.
Hi, Art and Terry, and
Hi,
everyone
Marnie.
who's on this great call today. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear, Marnie.
Okay, I guess I was a little too close to the speakerphone. Well, I had a lot of the same experiences that we're seeing on the, the different surveys that come back. The great sustained energy and deep, wonderful sleep and a calmness, clarity of thinking and things like that. But what I am so excited about is after being on this product, maybe coming on 5 weeks now, is that my whole physiology is changing. I'm not interested. I'm eating more often. I'm eating like protein snacks, fruits or vegetables. I'm absolutely not interested in carbs and sweet things that I used to use, especially in the afternoon, to give me a little boost. And as a result of that, my inches are coming off my body. And not necessarily pounds, but I am definitely down at least one size in jeans. And my husband and I went shopping the other day, and he's down a size in his waist from a 38 to a 36, and he's a pretty big guy, and he's does a lot of physical work, but it's just interesting that his pants are literally just, if he doesn't wear a belt, they're going to slide off his hips. But the thing that I'm grateful for is that definitely the clarity, the mental clarity and focus that I have after having chronic fatigue and losing my short-term memory about 15 years ago. I've just been kind of coming back, and the Zango has helped me a great deal over the last 5 years, but there's just a different shift. And then I was very happy to hear that Dr. Talbot mentioned on one of his conference calls that anyone who is on medication for high blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid, or depression may want to work with their doctor and reduce medication and possibly not need medication. And this was right from Dr. Talbot, the formulator of the X-51. I was finding that, I was having to make an adjustment with my thyroid medication, and I talked to you and Terry and Loretta, and now I'm finding I went down to half of my dosage, and then now of thyroid medication, and now what is working beautifully for me is 2 capsules in the morning and 1 at noon. And
that's of the X-51. So you're taking 2 in the morning and 1 at noon now. Yeah.
And it's best not to have the thyroid medication. I do have a full thyroid profile lab test that I'm going to take within a month and see a doctor here locally. And then I feel that maybe I will drop back to maybe two capsules a day.
Yeah, and people will experiment with how much to take. I mean, they recommend 2 in the morning for everyone, but you can play around with that a bit.
Yeah, I think it's just to get that thyroid in balance, having my body be producing, hormones more naturally. So that was wonderful. I really appreciate the scientific information that Dr. Talbot is releasing now. So I'm very, very grateful for this product, and I am glad to have myself all back, too.
Yeah, and congratulations, both of you, on an incredible week. I know you put in lots of volume, lots of orders, lots of X-51 is going out into your team, right?
Well, and even with X-51, somehow it hasn't created more hours in the day or days in the week, because I don't have enough time to contact everyone I want to contact. But this next week, Loretta and one of my downline people that are in my community, we're going to do a 4-day festival here in my own community, and we intend to sell a lot of trial bottles, and we'll be taking their contact information. That will be part of the only way they can get it in their hot little hand is to fill out their contact information, and so we can follow up. And we will also give them our contact information. And Loretta wants to follow up here, and thanks for inviting me to the caller.
Okay, thanks a lot, Marnie. Great job.
Thanks, Marnie.
Thanks. I just have one more thing to say.
Go ahead. Yeah, by the way, Loretta's the one on the left there. Marnie's on the right on the pictures that are coming up here.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, when we ran out of that product, we were probably like every other person out there who ran out of the product, and we called you and begged, do not leave us without this product. And that is what's going to happen to a lot of folks out there. So after they get through that 1 week, so it doesn't hurt people to run out. So thank you so much for
thanks a lot.
having us.
Thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate both of you guys and all that you do and bring to the team, and good to see your excitement, and wow.
Thanks, guys.
No, you're
fantastic job.
We are excited.
All right.
All right.
So continuing on here with what to do now, got this incredible quote, which I think is very, very appropriate. So kind of what we've talked about so far is what you've done already, working with the downline. But this is a quote from Candy Webb that I think is absolutely spot on, if you will. And what does she say here? The only way that we can continue with the huge volume and growth experience from day one with X-51 is to begin recruiting based on X-51. It's time for you to put your game plan in action to take everything to the next level. So there's only so much you can do. If you want your business to grow, ultimately, if you have dreams of growing a business, it has to always come down to recruiting. Your business does not grow without new members. And so apart from working on your downline and working with the people that you've already known, you've got to get out there and talk to some new people. And so here's some of the suggestions, to make with regard to new contacts. Once again, do you know anyone who's tired, stressed, and depressed? Just about everyone. Make a list of these. We have a product that we're getting 80-plus positive responses from in 7 to 14 days. So you know that the people you talk to are probably going to be pretty delighted with it. I mentioned this. We sold out our 1-month supplies on the first day. Your own story is very, very powerful. Keep it simple, Get the word out to them. Ask them if they'd like to try it, And if you've got these 6-packs, this can be fast, right? No waiting, That's the thing about having product, a little bit of the 6-packs in your hand, is that you talk to somebody this morning and they can be swallowing at noon because you've got it right there with you. These are small, beautiful little bottles. The new 1-week supplies are like mini bottles, and they're very small. The capsules are small. These bottles can easily fit in your purse. You can put them in your pocket. You can carry them around with you, and then email that video. So set up your daily contact goal, 1 to 2. And I've said this before, it really, the business is about consistent effort to me. And if you could just talk to 1 or 2 brand new contacts per day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks out of the year, for 2 to 5 years, I'm telling you, that's all it would take. Naturally, you've got to follow up on those contacts, but initiating those brand new contacts on a daily basis is essential to filling your funnel. And so this is what I'm suggesting. You've got to get out there and get some new people here. Once again, this is the funnel, and you want to fill the funnel of your Zango business with lots of new people up here, right? You want lots of new people coming in, talking to them about a 1-week supply. And then from the week supply, when they're ready to order, some of these people are going to want to get some of the juice. So the wider the funnel, in other words, the more prospects and people that you're talking to, the more successful the program, the more leaders, builders, people coming to convention that are going to come out the bottom of your funnel. So that's what's so important about feeding the funnel. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. That's why, how many contacts have you made? And I've asked this question before. I could launch a poll here right now that let's just see how you're doing. I know that a lot of you. I asked this question last week, right? And so let's ask it again. How many new contacts did you make last week? So that poll is open. Let's get some votes in here, and let's see if we're going up. I think, from what I'm seeing here coming in, you guys are doing a much better job on this. Do you realize how much you got into action last week? Wow. This is very impressive, what I'm seeing here. This is phenomenal. I'm going to show this. We're going to close the poll here in about 5 seconds, but incredible improvement on this. I'm going to have to see if I can find last week's, but you guys are really into action. What do we got here? Only 9% of those on the call didn't talk to anybody last week. So this is phenomenal, Terry. People are into action.
This is really very, very exciting. I don't know, many of you might have remembered the poll numbers last week. I don't remember them, but this is very exciting. He's leaving it open because it just keeps going up. So those of you that are voting, this is so cool.
Okay, let's share the results, and we'll show you that you guys look at that. So 2 to 4 per week, 40% of the people. We've got 5 to 10 per week. 24% of you are made 5 to 10 contacts.
That's
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That's activity.
That's going to pay off, you guys.
And we've got 14% making 10 or more contacts. And so pretty phenomenal.
Great job.
So here's my vision for it, and of course there's many ways to approach this. Once again, don't let your minimums become maximums. That's an expression I learned from Dwayne Dyer. So just because it's an easy thing to share a bottle to get people on a week. Don't let that be the maximum. As you're in your conversation with them and you let them know they can try a bottle for a week and you increase their interest and they're more interested, obviously, than that, and some of those people are going to be ready for a month right now. And don't be afraid to sell them a month or 2 week supply of your 1 week samples, or lend them one of your weeks while theirs is coming in and they're ordering a couple of bottles of the X-51. But I really think if you had a goal, and I know some people have bigger goals than others, I want you to set a goal for yourself of how many trial bottles per month do you plan to get out into other people's hands. So there's a 6-pack. So how many 6-packs do you need? And of course, you can rotate these 6-packs over once we have a more consistent supply. But I believe that 8 to 12 trial bottles out will result in about 8 people wanting to buy a month's supply wholesale. And 4 of those that want to buy wholesale are likely to share at least a 1 week supply or 2 with other people. And you could actually, and see how this is a funnel? From let's say that you talk to 20 people, 12 of them took a bottle, 8 of those buy wholesale. You see, this is the shape of a funnel right now. 2 builders per month could come out of your X-51 efforts. So creating momentum. Terry, anything you wanted to add before I get into creating momentum?
The only thing I want to add is, I think it's really important to use the word sharing. I know we all want business builders, but I'll tell you what, when you share the product with someone and they get great results, they're going to say to you, I don't want to build a business. And that's fine, because I'll tell you what, they're going to go off to work or whatever, and they're going to start sharing. They don't even know they're building a business. They're going to say, hey, Sally, you might want to try this. How about, give me $22. I want you to try this. I want to see what happens to you on this product, And you start sharing it. I think we don't use that word enough. And so to get those small bottles out, the sample bottles, I think it's really important to say, hey, do you know of anybody that's tired, stressed, and depressed that you could share this with? Oh, well, everybody in my office is. Well, there you go. But if you say to them they have to be a business builder, they start to they put their walls up. So just be aware of that.
Actually, I think there's somebody out here listening to this call right now that is capable of getting 100 bottles out in the next 30 days, is capable of it. It communicates well with people. I mean, this stuff, there's no resistance to this price point. Now, let's talk about creating momentum. And I just wanted to talk to you about a coaching call. I did an incredible coaching call with Lisa Scope and some members of her team. There was 4 of us on here. We had 2 business builders on there. Jim, just starting, great guy, lots of experience, very passionate, really wants to build this business. And so we had a coaching call, and we started talking about his list. And gosh, I wish I'd recorded some of it. It was very, very powerful. But I told him, fundamentally, is that number one, that most people don't treat this like a business. That is one of the keys to all of our success, is treating this like a business, like $1 million business, like you've got some skin in the game, like you have your house mortgage to build this business, just like any other business owner. So that's one of the challenges that we have. But I also said that the key to me when you're launching your business, and honestly, if we really want to be honest right here, you're all launching your business today, right? I mean, this is a brand new category that we're creating here, and we're focused on X-51 today. So you're launching your business today. And I told them the biggest thing that I see is that most people simply just don't do enough activity in a short enough period of time to actually get to the point where they create momentum. If you don't do enough activity, if you don't compress your activities, imagine, and I use this example, maybe some of you heard this before, but think what would be the difference if you sponsored 12 people in the next 12 months, which is not bad. If you're consistently sponsoring 1 person per month, is not bad. Most people don't do it, so it's not bad. It's not a power builder, but it's good building, right? But what if you were to sponsor those 12 people in your next 30 days or 60 days? You would develop momentum from those same activities. And so the biggest problem that most people have in network marketing is they simply just don't do enough activity to turn the switch from effort into momentum. You know, and I've used the analogy in the past of getting that train moving, you know, getting your momentum going. And so there's a lot of not enough. So really, over the next 90 days, you've got a tremendous opportunity here building up to convention to try to kick it into another gear. To go, you know, we've used the term all-out massive action, but you've got to do more action if you want more results. And talking to one person or two people a week is not bad, but what if it was 5 to 10 for all of you, and 10 to 20 for the rest of those? And then you were doing your follow-up, and you were getting the surveys, and then you were getting them on conference calls and webinars. And so my advice to you is you've got to increase your activity if you want your business to grow. And if you know, there's success comes from confidence. And if you don't have enough activity, you're never going to be confident in what it is that you're doing. But imagine if you've got 10 or 20 or 30 of these bottles out within the next 30 days, and you start to see the results coming in from people that you've shared it with. Now you have confidence. Every communication that you take with some, wow, this product is incredible. I got it on Sally last week. She's feeling so much better. I mean, now you've got stories. And listen, why don't we get into business on this? This is a hot product, and now you've got excitement. Let's get on one of these webinars so we can learn more about it. And now you're starting to fill your funnel, you know, on a massive scale. And so momentum is key in this business, and the only way you can create momentum is through activity. And most people just go too slow, really. So that's my little blurb on momentum. To wrap up the call, we've got Dr. Talbot is on a lot of calls and webinars. He's going to be doing a product training webinar on August the 5th. You're also going to see some short video interviews with him. We've actually going to be having him on a call coming up soon. He's got an incredible background. You know, incredible guy, great background. Zango has an exclusive deal with him on this formula that he's created. We own the formula. We own the patents on it. And you'll see a lot of him coming up. We're just touching the surface on what he brings to the table here. Pericarp oil is now shipping, and we've been waiting for this. Remember, we sold out big supply in Las Vegas. Terry, why don't you do a little blurb on, you know, what's the big deal? Why would people want to get some of the pericarp oil? It's now shipping. You can order it today.
Well, you know, Art and I have probably had this for over a year now, and so we've been using it. Art has one in the bathroom. I have mine in the bathroom. He has one in the living room that he carries from the living room to the den, and he's constantly putting it on something. You know, he's putting it on a bruise. He was chopping some wood, so he got a cut. He put it on the cut. We get it on mosquito bites. He was doing that.
Twist your ankle, put it on the joint.
He twisted his ankle, so he's putting it on the joint. He's putting it under his tongue, you guys, which is really a good idea. I've been doing that. I've always thought like I had a thyroid problem, but I didn't really know. And I heard Dr. Templeman actually talking about putting it underneath the tongue in Beverly, so that's what I've been doing. This product is amazing. Now, for the skin, as in any kind of beauty marks, you know, it's just amazing. Just apply it each day, and they just start to fade away.
Yeah, so I mean, Terry, you got rid of most of those skin tags, two of the skin tags from it on there. And also I had like a wart thing. It's almost disappeared on my thing, on my chest.
We put it on almost everything in the household here.
Add it to other products that you're taking.
Yes.
If you've got another kind of cream or something else that you're using, you can put some drops in there. You can add drops to your juice.
I actually, when we went to Hawaii, I wanted to have extra moisture, and so I took Beverly Hollister's lotion and the cream, and I mixed them in a little container, and then I put 10 drops of the oil in it to just kind of enhance it. So you can do that. I love putting this stuff on my feet. And so there's so many things. I mean, I cannot say enough about this beautiful oil that Beverly has come out with, and we're actually going to have her on a call. What is the date, Art?
We'll just be announcing that next Saturday, actually. Yeah.
Yes, next Saturday we're going to have on a webinar. So, and of course we've got the powder that is coming out this summer, and that is truly amazing. I don't know if you guys, some of you I know have experienced the powder, and so I know you're going to just love this powder when it comes out. I've actually taken the sample powders that we got in Las Vegas, and I've actually mixed a couple of them to get the color that I particularly wanted this summer. And so I just have a lot of fun with it. So we'll be announcing that next week as well.
And, of course, we have the Duckweed sponsorship tour ongoing right now, Creating a Storm. We talked to Eric Walsh last week. They had almost 300 in Wisconsin for this. Lots of guests coming to these. You know, he's a great draw, a historian, philanthropist, New York Times best-selling author, traveling around the country. If you can see him, your life will change. What do we got coming up here? We've got Troy, Michigan is happening today. We've got a lot of people going to be there today. Las Vegas, July 30th. Sacramento, California, August 1st. Anybody within a day's drive of these cities. Louisville, Kentucky, August 6th. And who do you know within a day's drive of this, right? Who do you know within a day's drive of Greensboro, North Carolina, or August the 13th, San Diego, August the 15th, Seattle? And if you need to register for the Seattle event, or you have people wanting to come to the Seattle event, send us an email, and we'll send you the flyer for that. Houston, August 20th, New England, August 22nd, and Salt Lake City, August the 27th. Coming up next week, don't forget the ABC program. We've got people earning extra bonuses by signing people up and helping them go 1K within 30 days. There's a golden ticket promotion where you can earn special convention privileges. And also free sign-up, of course, for 280p. And so when you get your people on your X-51 and they want to join, you know, you get them a month supply for them, their month supply for their wife, and one of those six-packs, that's a 200 PV. Now it's a free sign-up, right? And also John Schall is hosting the X-51 call again on Monday night. He's got a couple of premieres on there. This Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is a nice you call to empower you, your team, stories, guests, all about X-51, 30-minute call, Monday, July 27th, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And this is the conference line, the same one you dialed in at, 712-429-0700, 608-703-pound. And so that's coming up. Let's see, what else we got, Terry?
Boy, there's going to be so many calls, whether they're webinars, conference calls this week. You know, don't miss them. Get your team on it. Go into action, you guys. This is so important. We have this momentum starting to build. The company is behind us 100%. We've got great founders. We've got Larry and Scott that are there for us with this new product. We've got Beverly. I mean, wow. We just have everything, all of our ducks in a row. And so make sure you use the advantage. I mean, you can always go and sit at the park and have a picnic, but boy, this is the time to really work your business.
Yeah, and when you're finding people that have a business interest, okay, from your feeding of the funnel, from whatever it is that you're doing, gosh, if you really want to raise their level of awareness, use the webinars, the GoTeamWebinars.com schedule, 6 webinars per week. Eric and I do the Wednesday night one at 7 p.m., so you know who we are, you know what kind of a presentation that's going to be. Get your best candidates and prospects on one of these webinars. There's also an incredible Getting Started training that is phenomenal every Wednesday at 5:30. So go to GoTeamWebinar.com. It also has a great follow-up system for that. So highly recommend this webinar schedule put together by Anna Mann, 100K Premier, John David Mann, author, Mike Raich, doing an incredible job on these webinars. So I think that's about it. Terry, I think that's the last slide. Oh, one more slide.
One more slide. We love this slide. It brings a big smile on our face.
The secret is out.
Ride the X-51 train, you guys.
We invite you to ride the X-51 train. See, it's the X-51 train. Everybody's on board here. The train is moving. I hope you're on the train. The only way to get on the train is to get into action and start talking to new people. So thank you all for coming on. We'll see you next Saturday. For Beverly Hollister, we'll have that webinar invitation out very soon next week so that you can start gearing up for that. And thank you all. We're going to open up the lines. Thank Loretta and Marnie for telling their stories. And let's go. What are you going to do on Monday? What are you going to do this afternoon? You know, this is not a movie. Let's get into action. let's take advantage of this wave of X-51. Thank you all for being on the call today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.